Hi everyone, welcome to Connection Yoga. I just want to say real quick, yoga is for everyone. However, when online, it is up to the individual to assess whether they are ready or not to participate in the class that they have chosen. If you suffer from specific disease, illness, or injury, or are pregnant, it is important for you to consult with your physician before beginning. The practice of yoga requires that you, the practitioner, need to gauge the safety of your practice within your own personal and physical limitations. I'm not there, I'm not in your body, so I can't. You need to pay attention and act accordingly. It is always better for you to build up slowly rather than force or strain. While you might feel exertion throughout the practice, you should also feel relaxed. While you might feel some discomfort, you should never feel pain. The techniques and suggestions presented in the following content are not intended to substitute for proper medical care. Consult your physician before beginning any new exercise program. Connection Yoga assumes no responsibility for injuries suffered while participating in the yoga content. The user assumes all risks. With that, I can't wait to see you on the mat, and I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Connection Yoga. My name is Kat, and I am here today to break the yoga poses down for you so that you can do them safely and do them awesomely, and so on and so forth. So, today we are breaking down Goddess Squat, also known as Yogi Squat, malasana, and other Sanskrit words I am not going to attempt to pronounce. But for all inclusive terms, we can call this a yoga squat. So, garland, there's another one. So many names. But it doesn't matter as long as you are aligning correctly in this pose. So, first I am going to demonstrate malasana yoga squat. And then I am going to break it down section of the body by section of the body to show you how to use this pose to affect major muscle groups. These include our feet, their muscles and the tendons, our pelvic floor, our low back, our hips, and our chest. So this is a powerful pose. Get ready. All right? So to get into this pose, you want your feet spread, and then you drop your butt, and then you get in. So, this is Yogi Squat. Ta-da! It's so beautiful. And I might try and just stay here for as long as I can because it feels amazing. All right? So, all bodies are different though, and in this pose there are several locations that might give you challenge when trying to reach into the depths of this pose, okay? And they have to do with our joints mostly. As you can see, my 3 big leg joints are all engaged, whether in flexion or extension right now. So we are gonna break them down part by part, starting with the feet. Now, your stance. Usually I say about mat width apart, so about 2 to 3 feet, depending on your height, of course. So a fairly wide stance with your feet at 2 and 10 o'clock. So opened with your feet grounded. Now, you can get into it just like me, and the same way is how you get out of it to keep your body safe. So forward fold, placing your hands on the earth, and then you drop your booty back and down, okay? So you want to keep your feet on the earth. If the back of your calves or your Achilles tendon is pretty short, it might start causing your heel to lift up off the earth. We don't want that, okay? We want the heels to be down. So if your heels are starting to come up, then you might need to come up out of this squat a little bit more, or briefly you could put a little bit of a rolled up towel under your heels, but really suggest you try not to do that and keep pressing your heels down, because that is how you're going to engage the entire bottom of the foot. The arch of the foot is engaged here. We want it lifting while our feet press down, but not clenching the toes. So if you clench your toes, you are going to be clenching your hips here, and we don't want that. We want our hips to be loose so that we can lengthen and extend the spine here, okay? So feet are grounded, pressing down. Your knees are bent, as you can see, all right? And your thighs are very sort of engaged, not engaged. It's like a passive sort of sensation. So your inner thighs are going to be opening, all right? We, in this pose, with our hips and our pelvis region, we are accessing as deep as the pelvic floor in here, okay? So by being in this position, we isolate that and lengthen those muscles that can be kind of hard to reach, but are hugely important for many of our bodily functions. So we need to keep our feet down, maintain the arches, and work the intrinsic muscles of the foot, all right? Because that keeps the alignment of the bones in our joints and our legs. So, key thing here is you don't want your knees coming in over the ankles, and you don't want them really going too far over the ankles. So, by keeping that triangle we've talked about on the bottom of the foot, keeping all of that down will help with keeping the ankle in line with the knee, which is super important. We don't want to mess up our joints. They are amazing, and I don't know about you, it hurts, and you can tell how much they do for you when you injure it. So we don't want to do that. So keeping your feet pressed down helps to keep the legs in the proper position. So we want the legs opening here, all right? Our core is extending to the best of our ability here. So because of this crazy position, we have all three major curves in our spine, lengthening, extending. So starting with our lumbar, this curve is flat and extending, all right? And that's what the squat helps with. But we want to extend our cervical and thoracic spine up here. So we need to press, all right? Press our elbows into the inner thighs or the inner knees, all right? And that'll be depending on how flexible you are. So if you're just beginning, maybe the knees, but if you want to open a little more, you got to bring them in a little bit more on the inner thigh. So pressing the arms to help press and extend the core and the chest. So we want the chest spreading here to help that opening sensation throughout the legs and the whole body here. So collarbones are spreading apart here. So it's a subtle motion, but you want to pretend like you're trying to pull your collarbones apart as you press. All right, so it's going to be an intense pose potentially for you. Come in and out of it as you please, but remember, you're supposed to come out and go in this way. It's gonna help protect you the best. Now, leaving us with our neck and head, we want it in line with the spine, with that extension so that we can extend the neck and extend the top cervical part of our spine. So, again, this pose is working so many parts of our bodies, and it can be super powerful, but we have to do it safely. So again, remember, keep your feet down, press them so that the inner ankle is pressing down and pressing the knees back, keeping the joints of the knees and ankles in line. As we open our pelvic floor, open our chest, lengthen our spine, all the amazing things that come from this pose. So when it comes to breathing down in this pose, you have a little bit of compressed breathing space because our diaphragm is pressed up from us being compressed in hip flexion down here. So given that, if your low back is extremely tight and you feel like you are suffocating, you need to come out, okay? Just listen to what your body is saying. You want to be uncomfortable and clearly working to like open and press your feet, but you don't want to be in pain. Any pain is a bad sign. So come out and reassess. Maybe you need to warm up a little bit more. I highly suggest warming up before doing this pose. I even did. But you can do it at any place, anytime, and it will do great things for you. So I hope you learned more about this pose today. If you have any questions or comments, put it in the description section below. I am more than willing and happy to help you out in any way I can. So without further ado, if you liked what we did today, please give me a like, hit that like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let your friends know, and I will see you next time for our next pose breakdown. So until then, namaste.